Right. Go this way.
No, you can come this way a little
You
bit.
can come this way.
All right. All right. Hi, Sherry Strong here, and this is my son,
I'm Joshua Schweinfurth.
Josh, and he lives in Nebraska, and I live in Tennessee. And we have these videos we're putting out to help everyone understand the effects of mental illness, and in this case, particularly schizophrenia. So Josh in particular has schizophrenia, and it's paranoid schizophrenia, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and paranoid schizophrenia, what's that?
Paranoid typically means you're afraid of. There's different fears. Like some people are afraid of people coming after them. It just some people think the cops are always watching them. Me in particular, I think I'm paranoid that people can hear my thoughts. Actually.
Okay, so you think people can hear your thoughts, and that's called broadcasting.
Yeah, thought broadcasting.
Thought broadcasting. Oh, I wish sometimes. I'm kind of glad not everybody can.
I mean, I'm sitting here talking to this camera. I mean, that's how I live my life. Really, everybody can hear my thoughts. It's like I'm putting on a worldwide show in my head, pretty much.
Oh, good analogy.
Is what it can be looked at like, yeah.
Okay, so we've done a couple different videos. One was like on your daily routine. In this one, we're going to talk about the effects of this mental illness on of schizophrenia in particular with the family, from your perspective and my perspective.
Yeah.
So when you think back and looking from your perspective, I know we have talked about the year before you were diagnosed in a video, and you can find that. But the year since you were diagnosed to now, what's been the toughest part about your family, or learning your family, or helping your family, or what are you?
The first year before my diagnosis, I was really thinking some crazy stuff. It was all about me, and I thought that like everybody was revolving around me, like the whole world. I thought that I was something special because they could hear my thoughts and stuff like that. But and what I thought about my family was, they were there for me too. But as time progressed, I started thinking that they're not trying to help me. They're not doing anything for me and stuff like that.
So you thought we knew that you were sick, but we didn't.
But
we just thought you were, a drug kid, in trouble kid.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you were wondering why we weren't helping you.
Yeah.
Very frustrating.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And as time went on, like these days that I'm living in, I am extremely thankful for my family. I think that they're there for me, like 100%. That's how things can change. I thought that it was all about me in the beginning, but in the end, it was really all about how I respond to them and how I am around them. And I'm still learning. Like I hang out with my brother-in-law when I'm riding with him in the car. Sometimes I'm just like, wow, dude, I really took this guy for granted, And same yesterday when I was with my mom, I thought the same thing. It's just a roller coaster, really, because when it first began, it was so different than when it is now. It's just like everybody else, though. You live and you learn, and there's a saying, I wish I knew then what I know now. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just like everybody else.
Now you do know what you do know.
Yeah.
And looking back, and with in terms of your family, so you have your sister, one of your sisters local, one of your sisters is in Montana.
Yeah.
You have, I'm here. Your dad is actually in a nursing home.
Yeah, that's the hardest part.
That's the hardest part?
Yeah.
Why is that the hardest part?
Because I treated him so badly when I had schizophrenia. Or when I was living with him with schizophrenia. I thought I could save him and help him, but because he has diabetes and he wasn't taking care of himself, but I just couldn't. I wasn't in the right mind. I wasn't on meds. I was doing drugs. Everything I tried, he just didn't want help.
Yeah, he wasn't able to take care of himself, more or less take care of you.
Yeah, and
right.
It was like.
And you were feeling guilty?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was definitely the blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
In all of its entirety.
How have you dealt with the guilt?
I still feel very guilty for what I did.
Okay, so we need to let the audience know that we call it the incident. Yeah. There was an incident where Josh went off the deep end and snapped, and you can find that in another video.
Yeah.
But he did tried to scare his dad into thinking he was killing him, and he had a gun.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that in another video. So how have you dealt with that guilt then since, knowing that when you
Almost-
snapped, you did things, when you were in that mode, you did things you did not want to do?
It's still a thing I deal with every day.
Okay.
I go back and forth between get over it and eventually, it'll take care of itself. Or I go, think about it real hard and think about what you did and then maybe you'll get over it. So it's just, because if then I think about getting over it, it's like I shouldn't get over that. That's something I should definitely live with since I did that, so.
Oh. It's not a matter really of living it, right? But I
Yeah.
think for the audience, and we can get into that,
Yeah,
as a mom, I never want you to feel guilty.
yeah,
But I do want to thank you. I know we thank you in every video, and I want everybody to be very aware that this takes courage to do this.
yeah,
This doesn't just happen, and I'm so proud of the fact that you were even willing to do this and let
Yeah.
me ask you questions.
yeah.
So with that, it sounds like you feel like guilt just like I feel guilt,
Yeah.
right? I look back and think,
Yeah.
what could have I done different?
It's just that I just have all these crazy thoughts upstairs.
Yeah.
But the thing is, she always says, at least you own it. And that's definitely true, because if I didn't realize that what I was going through was just my illness, I gotta take meds for this, I would definitely be doing something crazy right now. Probably be doing drugs, maybe, breaking the law in some other ways. But you gotta understand that it is your illness and it's not, what you think it is.
Yeah.
You gotta put all your thoughts in check, you can't.
So, but we're talking about family though, Joshua. What advice can you give to family members of people who have your disease? So let's say family members of, like, I just thought you were a rebel kid who was on drugs and had, a mother and father who got divorced. You decided to live with your dad, and your dad wasn't doing what I thought he should do, blah, 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 right? So what advice do you have for family members? Because I really felt there was nothing I could do. I mean, I even took your father to court to try to get custody before, because I wanted to get you help for drugs.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. Family court judge didn't want to get involved.
Yeah.
And again, we won't get into politics here, but that could happen to everybody here. So I felt very much like I have to let this happen.
Yeah.
There was not much I could do.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for parents in that situation?
Just be open-minded and try the best you can to help them out, because don't just try and listen to them, because the things that they're saying, they can definitely learn from you. If you told them, you gotta understand that it's not really what the things in your head could really turn on you, and you can start making you think crazy things. If you think, you could be thinking something, it could just completely expand into something big. Like,
So if you suspect your child is on drugs or something's wrong,
yeah,
do something.
Yeah.
Try to. So like I tried to, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Tried to a couple times, and then I had to let it go. And again, that's in a different video.
Yeah.
But the point is if you know something's not right,
Yeah.
try to do something. And you may not happen,
yeah,
but at least try. What could have I done differently as a parent,
yeah.
either during the divorce when this was going on?
I would have tried to educate me on what can happen if I use drugs.
Okay.
Had I known that I could lose my marbles, I would never.
But would have you believe me, even if I educated you,
It's a 50-50.
it's a 50-50,
really-
so go ahead and go for it,
Yeah.
is what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
good advice.
Yeah. Because it escalated to schizophrenia. And from schizophrenia, it escalated to thinking crazy things like the world worshipped me and I was going to win the lottery for sure.
Yeah, another video is called I Won the Lottery Twice.
Yeah.
Look for that one.
Yeah.
Tough. Your sister called me, said, Mom, Josh will not come out of his room.
Yeah.
And how long were you in your room, basically?
6 months.
6 months. And
Yeah.
you were smoking marijuana. So
Yeah.
you would come out to
Eat and,
facilitate, go to the bathroom, those
Yeah.
types of things, and get marijuana.
Yeah.
So you went off your meds and used marijuana to self-medicate
Yeah.
for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had been there a couple times and you wouldn't come see me.
Yeah.
So then finally she said, Mom, something's not, it's worse.
Yeah.
He's not just avoiding you, he won't come out of his room.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I had to have the cops come.
Yeah.
And remember that day?
Yeah.
You talked about guilt. Is it getting easier to deal with the guilt with some of the things that has happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What are things you did to help yourself get over the guilt and not feel guilty for some of the things that have happened, especially if you're paranoid and your voices are telling you,
Yeah.
right? So how have you dealt with that, the guilt?
Well, I just try to be myself, like the person that knows better than the mental illness, you know?
Right, then the voices.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, and you do. You're a great person. I love him. To know him is to love him.
Yeah.
You are. You're a good person.